So it's time to welcome onto the show a man you may not know the name, but you will know his music, especially if you've seen the movie Run Fatboy Run. Mr. Tom Baxter.
Hi.
Morning. See, that's an introduction, isn't it?
Thanks, that's great. I mean, that's setting me up for good things there, aren't you? Yeah,
how are you then today, Tom?
I'm very well, thanks. Yeah.
These early mornings okay for you?
You know, it's actually in a strange sort of way. It's actually quite a refreshing change for me because we normally do touring and we do radio at the same time, but this tour I'm doing is just all radio. So actually, we're getting up early, but we're finishing quite early and not having to do the gig at night. So it means we're not hungover in the next morning.
So there's
You've done the gigging tour though, haven't you? You did that back in October.
Yeah, we just finished that. So we instead of trying to see everyone on the road and all the radio stations, I said, look, why don't we do it separately, which is much more civilised.
So you've recently been on tour throughout October, haven't you? And on the 16th you visited Liverpool. What was that like?
It's great. I mean, up in sort of Manchester, Liverpool, there's some of the best gigs we have.
Now, that's always a thing that I always wanted to ask people, because every time I read an article in Q Magazine or maybe the local paper, or I hear someone on the radio, see them on the TV, they always say the same thing about northern audiences, the likes of Manchester and Liverpool. Is it true that they are the best audience? What makes them the best audience?
I think it's just because they're a bit more bolshy and up for it. You know what I mean? If they want to say something, they'll say it, and that's the same as the Scottish and the Irish, and they're the same. It's like, in a way, the worst audience can be sometimes a sort of very middle class, kind of middle England sort of polite audience, because you don't get a response. It's not that they're not necessarily having a good time, but you sometimes, as an artist, you just don't know. Yeah. You don't know whether they're having... You know what I mean?
They're too polite to get involved.
So sometimes actually people heckling and having a bit of laugh with you on stage, it makes it easier because then you sort of at least you're getting a reaction.
So how's all this happened for you? What's the story behind your musical career?
Well, I mean, mine's been sort of quite a long journey, I suppose, because I moved to London first. I went to art school, did fine art painting, and then I went into music and I became a session guitarist. I played for loads of different pop bands and things like that, and then I kind of quit basically. I was getting into songwriting and I was going out playing a lot, and I did it for years and years, and I was playing. Got a bit disillusioned. I was thinking, maybe I should get a job,
get a proper job, as your mum and dad would say.
We've been saying that for years.
Exactly, yeah. So I did, and I suppose I was getting to an age where all my mates were getting cars and houses and stuff like that, and there I was still penniless. So I ended up in the building trade, did that for ages. I then was actually doing up this pub in South London, and the landlord wanted to make it into a sort of an events place with bands, music, comedy, and after the sort of nights we'd spend in the bar, we'd always get the guitar out, and he said, well, I do a few nights in the bar. So I did a few nights in the bar, and then it just got really busy, and it took off from there, and then the record companies started coming, and before I knew it, I was in this big studio and with lots of money being spent on me, and it was all a bit daunting,
Well, this is your second album you're on to now. The first one sold very, very well indeed. I think this one's going to do a lot better. It's called Skybound, out in 2008. Now, there's a story behind how you funded your first album, how you fund your music. Was it to do with selling paintings? I read somewhere.
Yeah, on this album, the second record, because the first album I did with Sony, and I learned a lot through that, and I think generally because I learned so much, I was very keen to actually set up my own label. So once I was able to negotiate with them getting out that contract, I immediately started making Skybound, this record. And one of the things I wanted to do was to combine my love of fine art painting, and I basically did a painting for each song with the lyrics, so it kind of was like a figurative image of the lyrics in each song. And then we did the exhibition in an art gallery, and I played and talked about the art, and then we sold it off and raised quite a lot of money to be able to keep putting back into the record and getting it out there, because one of the things that is a reality of putting records out is it costs to actually get it out there.
What is it with Sony? Everyone who goes onto Sony wants to get rid of them, don't they?
It's a funny
George
one,
Michael,
isn't it?
I'm out of here, and that you as well.
Yeah,
and you've got a book out as well, haven't you, with some of the paintings?
Yeah, well, because they all sold immediately, and I kept getting emails of everyone saying, can we buy one? And I said, well, there isn't any, it's done, it's gone. And I thought, well, what I'll do is I'll make a book and put all the artwork and the sketches and all of the history of where I've come and how I've got here, and a little bit of the band members talking as well, because I've been working with the same guys for a number of years, and I just thought it'd be a good opportunity to give a bit more history on it all.
Right, so you brought a guitar in with you this morning, which is nice to see. We can have some live music first thing on the breakfast show. You're going to play the first single released from your brand new album, album for us. What's it called again?
Yeah, it's called Better.
Better, okay. Well, what we'll do is we'll let you play some tunes on the guitar, and then we'll catch up some more. We'll talk about Run Fatboy Run, because one of your tunes appeared in that, didn't it?
Yeah, it did. I'll tell you about that in a minute.
Yeah.
Our love has changed. It's not the same, and the only way to say it is say it. It's better. I can't conceal this way I feel for all the time we spend together. Forever just gets better. See, what I'm trying to say is, you make things better, and no matter what the day is, with you here, it's better. I'll stand by you if you stand by me. I think it's time that I reveal it, 'cause I believe it. It's better. See, what I'm trying to say is, you make things better, and no matter what the day is, with you here, it's better. The more I talk to you, I fall in love with everything you do. See, what I'm trying to say is, you make things better, and no matter what the day is, with you here, it's better. Our love has changed. It's not the same, and the only way to say it is say it. It's better.
Brilliant. Sam
Thank you very
Baxter.
much. So that's the single,
Thank you.
Better. That's out today from the album Skybound, which is out in January. And that single featured on Run Fatboy Run. How the heck did that come about?
Well, as I was saying about all the artwork that I did, it kind of it stemmed from doing that at the art exhibition I did in London. Quite a few sort of famous faces came down, and actually, although David Schwimmer, who directed the film, he wasn't there, he heard about it, and he listened to a live album that I did, and there was a track that he really liked, and he was making this film, and he contacted me and said, would I mind if I put it in? And so I was like, Of course not. No, go ahead.
not at all.
No, you can't.
Not my song, no.
So he put it in, and then he invited me down to the screening, so I went down to see that, and then after a few meetups, and he came to a few gigs, and got to know each other, and then basically it just stayed there because I wasn't really sure whether it would stay or not, because sometimes that happens with films. And went to the premiere, and it was all very posh and lovely.
Very, very showbiz.
Yeah. So you're mates with David Schwimmer now.
Yeah, I mean, he's the funny thing is for me is that I never watch TV. I just don't. I'm sort of in another world of my own. So I'm not actually that familiar with him as the character. So when I met him, I mean, I was aware of the fact that he was this celebrity from blah blah blah. But it's only since then I've worked out, Friends, and I've watched a bit of it and stuff. So I just sort of, really, he's a very, very normal bloke. So, you don't even really notice it,
Yeah, it's always good to have some friends, isn't it? Boom, boom. All right, enough of the comedy.
So are you planning to gig again soon?
Yeah. Well, the one that I'm really looking forward to is we're headlining the Shepherd's Bush Empire. I don't know if you know that. That's one of my favourite London venues. And then we'll be on tour later in the year, probably sort of end of February, March time.
Right then, okay. Well, Tom, thanks for stopping by this morning. I know it's very, very early. All the best with the single. It's released this week. We'll make sure we give it a few plays over this week, and also all the best with the album, which comes out next year.
Well, great to meet you guys.
Thanks
Good luck.
very much, Tom.
Thanks, everyone.